Thank you very much, and a warm welcome to you. Reporters Without Borders, RSF, and Journalists in Danger, JED, its partner organization in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, have called on the government in the country to prioritize two major reforms in order to keep its promise to improve press freedom. The call comes after a 5-day country visit by RSF aimed at making government officials and legislators aware of the need for swift press freedom reforms in the DRC. During the visit, RSF and JED met with some government officials. They include Communication and Media Minister, the Human Rights Minister, the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, and 10 parliamentarians. Ruth?
And these NGOs are demanding more protection for journalists. And Chivis Chivuadi, Secretary General of the NGO Journalists in Danger, is with us from the capital, Kinshasa. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program. Now, your organization, as well as Reporters Without Borders, have held a series of meetings with various authorities in Kinshasa in recent weeks, of course. What was the purpose? Reporters Without Borders carried out a fact-finding and advocacy mission in DRC last week. It was therefore an opportunity for us to take stock of the situation of press freedom since the beginning of the political transition underway in our country with the elections that were held last year in December. So the first observation from the monitoring service is that since coming to power, the President of the Republic, Félix Antoine Tshisekedi, despite his declarations of good intentions to promote the press, which he mentioned in his own inauguration speech, and committed to promoting the press and the media as the fourth estate, since then there have been no measures taken either in terms of security, regulation or justice to try to strengthen the safety of journalists and effectively promote their freedom.
Okay, so as things are presently, tell us, what are the major problems with the current law? What is disturbing about the situation with the press freedom currently in the DRC?
Well, the current law is very repressive in relation to the media. It's rather archaic because it doesn't take into consideration the new media. So for us, it is important that certain provisions of the law, which are somewhat backward, can be reformed as soon as possible. And our main battle is to effectively decriminalize press offenses and therefore abolish all custodial sentences for journalists who are prosecuted for offenses such as defamation. And the other bill for us is important because it's related to access to information, as well as law transparency. We cannot want to establish good governance in a country if journalists do not have the opportunity to get access to official sources of information, which is the current case today. But also this law, which comes from 1996 and dates back to the time of dictatorship, provides for death sentences for a journalist who is accused of treason because he or she has given information considered to be related to national security. So you can see that these are provisions of the law that are not only repressive, but are also archaic, for which we are effectively asking that these provisions be amended to allow journalists to do their job, which means working in complete freedom, in independence and safety to effectively play the role that is expected of them. Of course, this is the role of being a watchdog for society, and of course denouncing dysfunctions and embezzlement of public funds. So tell us, what can we learn from the situation in relation to journalists since the beginning of the year in the DRC? Well, since the beginning of the year, when the new president took office, we recorded nearly 80 cases of attacks on the press and on journalists. So we believe that among the major challenges facing the media, they can effectively play the role expected of them, that is the role of the fourth estate and the watchdog of society, as the president said himself, there have to be two priority areas that must be amended, namely the reform of the current press law, as well as the establishment of a national mechanism to protect journalists reporting within and about all security, intelligence, and government departments involved. In particular, the Home Affairs Ministry, the Ministry of Justice, and the ministry related to the media. We believe that this is a priority project to try to combat the violence encountered by journalists in the performance of their duties, as well as to try to put an end to the impunity enjoyed by unidentified persons who attack journalists and who have never been concerned or condemned. And we believe that this is one of the obstacles that effectively prevents journalists from doing their job.